Hi. So, my husband and I were having a disagreement this morning. We were arguing while we were at the gym how when I'm in a bad mood in the morning, it affects him and he feels it because he's so close to me and that he wants me to not be in a bad mood. And I was saying, I can't make you feel anything. Your mood and emotions are your responsibility, not mine. I was in a bad mood and I was letting out what I needed to let out. So the question here is, who's right? Um, and the answer is both of us. So, yes, our emotions are our own, and nobody can make you feel anything. You are the creator of your internal reality, and based off of your thoughts and your beliefs is how your emotions are going to respond. I tell my clients all the time, if I could make them feel a certain way, I would make them happy, and it would take one session and we would be done. But since that doesn't work, I can't make them feel anything. So I'm right in that form. We are responsible for our own emotions. That being said, the reality is in this world, we are all running around with wounded parts of ourselves. We all had an upbringing. It doesn't matter how loving our parents are. Parents do the very best they can. It's not like they're hiding anything, but we just don't, there's so much we don't know. And I think most people would agree that we have not nailed it on, great parenting skills. So we're running around with all these wounds that we got from childhood, whether it be from outright abuse, physical or emotional, or neglect, or something more minor, just being teased. Well, this isn't minor, but let's say you had good supportive parents, but you were teased and bullied in school. That leaves major wounds. So we're all walking around with triggers. And just because we are responsible for our own emotions, when you are losing control of yours, and that's when I get in a bad mood and I vomit it out, that's totally what's going on. I'm losing control of mine and blah, I gotta get rid of it. So when you are losing control of yours and choosing to handle it in that way, and you are expressing whatever mood you're in all reality, to expect the other person to not be affected by it is just not where we're at in this world. Everyone is running around with a bunch of triggers. And so when you are triggered and you're handling or not handling your trigger, those around you are also going to be triggered, because that's just where we are. So I think we're both right. We have a responsibility to figure ourselves out, take care of our emotions, manage them, understand them, get control of them, understand our thinking, our beliefs. That's absolutely our responsibility. And then in return, we have the responsibility to be kind and loving to others, the understanding that as triggered and upset as we may get about things, so is everyone else. And we don't need to contribute to this world upsetting people because we are handling our emotions unsuccessfully. So our argument with my husband, we decided that to solve this problem, I'm very proud of this, we are not allowed to get in a bad mood in the morning. We're forbidden. So in that case, I think it answers both problems. We're absolutely responsible for our own emotions. And don't get me wrong, I think this could be a huge challenge. That's why I'm very excited. And we'll take responsible for our own emotions, and we will choose to be in a good mood. I don't give what kind of crap my brain may be telling me as to what's not working right, but I absolutely can shift that. If you can find something that's not working right, you can find something that is working right. So it's all about focus. And he will stay in his mood, and that way we're responsible for ourselves, but we're also not vomiting on each other our issues and triggering each other. So I'm excited about this to see how this goes. And I'm hopeful I learn a lot. Honestly, I'm hopeful. It's not very easy because this is how I learn about myself and my beliefs, doing these kind of things. So yeah, that came up this morning and I thought I would share that. And the other thing that came to me this morning that kind of coincides with this to help you understand how the brain works when I say we're responsible for our own emotions, because that is really confusing for a lot of people. As I was driving home from the gym, the movie WALL-E came to mind. And if you haven't seen WALL-E, you're not going to understand this, but I'm going to assume that most people have seen WALL-E. And I realized what a fantastic analogy on how our brain works. So WALL-E, let me refresh you, is a robot that is cleaning up Earth because humans destroyed it. Big surprise. And humans are in a spaceship, like way, way far away, that because the ones that were left, since Earth was destroyed, now that's all they can live is in the spaceship. And so we have this ship that is controlled by computers, and humans are able to they're just laying around. They're massively overweight, and they have these little stubbly fat legs that are never used because they're just powering their little beds to move around everywhere and stuff their face. So what happens in WALL-E is a plant gets found, right? And this robot is trying very hard to do her job and, submit the plant, because that is proof that Earth has coming back, which means humans can go back. And that was the plan overall. We've been waiting, keep sending these robots there. They've been waiting for Earth to get better. So they could, once it did, they could all go back and live there. Well, what was unknown is the autopilot, the robot that commands the ship most of the time and has like actual control, even though the captain thinks he has control. Knew there was a understanding that was deeper that only the autopilot knew, and the captain, the human captain, did not know. And that was that long time ago when we destroyed Earth. Even though they said, oh, we'll try to clean it up, and then you can come back when it's cleaned up. These robots will clean it up, and you can come back when it's cleaned up. What was underneath that only the autopilot knew, is that we've screwed it up. Don't ever come back to Earth, whatever you do. And so even though this plant was found, the autopilot knew. He said, no, I have commands that said that going back to Earth would be bad, 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 bad. I can't allow this plant in. I can't let the humans know because I need to protect them. This is my job, to protect them. So this is the beauty of how the brain works, and I love it. The autopilot, obviously, is our subconscious and is in charge most of the time and is fantastic and super intelligent and capable and doing its job and is not against us in any shape or form, and we should be massively grateful for it. But what happens is sometimes we get these beliefs, right? Like Earth will never be able to live on ever again from a long time ago, and our subconscious says, gotcha, and follows it. Even though time may pass and we get more wisdom and understanding, and our conscious, which is the human captain, who is all about thinking like, no, I want to go back to Earth. I don't want to be on the ship forever. Like that's been our goal. He is unaware of that subconscious belief going on, and he won't understand why there's conflict or a block or self-sabotage, even though it's not necessarily self-sabotage. So it requires the human captain to literally fall off his little bed and force his little stubby legs to work because he's never used them in order to take control of the autopilot and make that choice to go back to Earth. And the autopilot was just doing its job. And what it came down to is, that's great. You were doing your job. Thank you so much. But listen, that belief system, I was wrong. Now that I have more information, more understanding, a different perspective, I see that I was wrong. And that's outdated. And this new belief is so much more beneficial than this old one. And so we can go into our subconscious, we can find what the old belief system is, and we can get rid of it once we become aware of it, and then make conscious choices into the direction that we want. So if you haven't seen WALL-E, go see it. And keep in mind, that is how our brain works. That just is the a couple things that came to me today that I thought might be beneficial to share with you all. That is all I have. Everyone have a fantastic weekend, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.